Hey, today's video is about when you're playing something or trying to compete at anything really, and you're playing against someone who's like less experienced, who's supposed to be worse than you, and yet you're still losing. Today, this happened to me when I was playing basketball. Um, for those of you who don't know, I'm like a college basketball player, and I was just training at the local gym, getting my workout in. There was a guy who's like 2 years younger than me, who doesn't train as much as I do. I've never seen him before. He doesn't play in like big leagues, so technically he's younger, shorter. He's supposed to be worse than me, right? And then we start doing 1v1s, and he starts like making all of his shots. And usually this is something that would upset me like very much, because I always like have a high standard for myself, and like I don't want to lose, especially against someone I'm supposed to win against. And like when this guy I've never seen before comes in here and starts winning against me in a 1v1, my ego takes a hit, man. I found a way that I've been thinking about to handle the situation, and instead of just being mad that I'm losing against somebody worse, I try to make the best out of every situation possible, because I really want to be the best. Because somebody's beating me, which I can't control whether he makes his shots or not. I can't decide if he's gonna play better than he has ever played before. This is out of my control. What I can control, however, is how I adapt to losing. What I mean by that is, instead of having the mindset, holy shit, what am I doing? I should be winning. Like, let me try and figure out a way to win right now, and if I'm not able to do that, then that means I'm bad. Instead of thinking like that, I think of it more like, okay, he's playing good right now. I need to figure out what he's doing that makes him so good right now when he's not supposed to, and I need to learn from that. You need to have a mindset that you're a student. You need to learn something about how the other guy is winning. So instead of hating yourself for playing bad, or not being able to perform the way you want to, there's always something you can learn. And it's always good to be positive with yourself, because at the end of the day, you do love yourself. I mean, you're a beautiful person. So just keep trying, keep learning, and don't hate yourself because you're not performing well. If you know you're supposed to do better, then that means there's something you can learn that you don't know yet. So learn it. Go. That's just because I don't want to lose because I think I'm good at basketball. It's not about learning anymore when you're losing and you get mad at yourself for losing. So you gotta switch your mentality. When there's that guy, he comes in the gym, you're like, oh, this guy looks like he sucks. You start doing the 1v1 and he starts destroying you. Instead of feeling bad, you're like, okay, I don't care whether I win or lose. I'm gonna come out of this 1v1 and I'm gonna have learned something. So you're gonna try your absolute best, okay? You're gonna sweat your balls off. You're gonna try the best you can to lock down this guy and score against him, you know? But you're gonna go with the mentality of I'm trying to learn something. So you need to analyze, okay, what does he do that works so well against me, and what can I do that works against him? And you need to learn from that. Right? So this guy came in and he was making all of his shots. And at first I thought, oh my god, how am I losing to this guy? Everyone in this gym, like, I've gotten comments of people saying, hey, you got so good now, I think you're the best in this gym. And that fed my ego. That meant from that point on, after I received that compliment, I was trying to prove everybody that I was the best in this gym. Here's my point, okay? You're a person. And you have your brain. This is your brain, okay? Now, when you play the game, this is the part of your brain that plays Minecraft, okay? You play the game and you're trying to get better at it, okay? So you want to make this part bigger. You want it to look like this. You want it to look like this. But what you don't know is that right now, the size of your brain is this, and the one thing you care about is not the actual size of your brain, it's what all the other people, these are people, okay? I'm a really good drawer. Is what all the other people think the size of your brain is. So they say, oh my god, he has such a big brain. And then all you care about is doing plays that prove that you have this big of a brain, because as soon as you do a bad play, well, they all forget about that and they say, he has such a small brain, he sucks, after one mistake. And because you know the opinion of other people is changing a lot depending on one mistake or one win, well, you want to always win. And you think that when you lose, well, your brain gets smaller. But guess what? It doesn't. If you're a student, if you try to learn in every single situation, you're gonna lose. That's what other people are gonna think. Small brain, he sucks. But you're actually learning, so your brain gets bigger. This is the actual size of your brain. And this is still what they think. But guess what? If you still don't try to learn, they're still gonna think that. So would you rather have a bigger brain or have a smaller brain? And in both situations, people think you suck. Well, it doesn't matter. Just go for the big brain. You cannot control this. This is outside of your control. People have opinions and they base it on stupid things. You won one fight, oh, you must be better. You lost one, well, you suck. So why should you care about that if only you knows the actual size of your brain? Okay, so I had found a new game plan, let's say, for that kid, and I ended up losing that 1v1, but I was super happy because at the end, he was already 1 point away from winning, and I almost clutched. It was like 10-3, and it ended 11-9. So, I mean, when I came back after the 10-3, instead of being mad, I was like pretending that I was a student, and we're just in class, so I don't care if I get the answer wrong, because at the end of the day, what I want is when the exam comes along, I want to have the right answer. So I just asked myself questions. I changed the way I was going to play. What happened after was what really showed me that I did the right thing. Because later that day, I came back for a second workout, and this time there was a guy who's actually better than me. A guy who is the best on the college team that I'm trying to get into next year. So this guy is the best on that team, and I met him, and he said, "Hey, you down to do 1v1s?" And this guy is a shooter, like 80% in training. He does exactly like the other guy did. And all of a sudden, I was like, holy shit, I know what to do. And I just switched up my defense. Okay, sorry. So I switched up my defense, and I could actually guard him, which I've never been able to do before. And I've played against him so many times, and I was actually lucking down his shots, the usual shots he was getting away with last time we 1v1'd. He was not able to get to them anymore. And that's all because when there was this kid who's worse than me, like he's actually not better at basketball than I am, but that day, that special day, he was making all of his shots. I tried to learn instead of being mad, and I'm happy with what I learned, because without that I would still be, I'm still worse than the guy on that college team. Obviously he's the best on the college team and I'm not even on the team, but I'm getting closer because I actually tried to learn. So I guess the right way to approach these kinds of things is to be a student. To not be a part of your ego. To not care whether you win or lose. Because you know you should win. So then, if you do lose, it doesn't matter. You know you're better than that guy. You got nothing to prove to nobody. So just play and try to learn. Try to analyze, okay, what's happening? Why am I losing? What is this guy doing that's good? So you analyze it, you try to learn from everybody. Even if you think they're worse than you can still learn. Because they can have good days too, where they do things the correct way. It can happen. You just gotta suspend your judgment, because when you judge someone, you're actually taking away your opportunity to learn from them. Right? When you think that they're so bad that you can't learn, you're giving away that opportunity, throwing it away. Right? So try to approach things in life as if you always have something to learn. As if you're not in the exam yet, you're just in the class asking the questions, and the goal is not to be right. It's to ask the right question, because you need to be ready for the exam and not for practice day. You see? I'm like actually happy that this happened. I'm happy that this guy had a good day, because it then made me better against the real competition. Right? Instead of being mad at myself, I was a student. I learned something. And you can do that every single time. Instead of thinking that the 1v1 has any impact on your value as a person or as a player, just think about it as a learning opportunity. The reason you came to that training session was because you wanted to get better, not because You want it to feed your ego. That makes no sense, right? And you know this, so just be kind to yourself. First of all, like, don't tell yourself that you're stupid or that you don't deserve to be there. I mean, hey, you're there because you're trying to get better. And I think that if you're trying to get better at something, then you should be kind to yourself, because that means that you care. That means that you want improvement. That means that you want to better yourself. And if you want someone to get better, then that means you care about that person. So it's the same thing about yourself. Oh, is that? Okay, fast review of what we learned. Okay, so you need to be a student. You need to not give value to the results. So don't care whether you win or lose the 1v1, because your goal is to learn or get better. So as long as this happens, then it's like a win. Don't judge people. You're judging them and thinking that they are worse than you, even if there are multiple reasons for that to be true. Expect everybody to be better than you and learn from every single situation. Be a student.